You think you know the world? Think again! Hey, everybody, Ryan here, and welcome back to the channel. I gotta tell you, I was just scrolling online the other day, minding my own business, and I stumbled across some things that well, they broke my brain a little bit. We go through our days thinking we have a pretty good handle on things, right? Like a strawberry is a berry, the Eiffel Tower is always the same height, and poop is, well, it's not supposed to be a cube. But it turns out the world is way weirder and more wonderful than we can possibly imagine. It's like finding out your whole life has been a lie, but in a fun way, So I thought, I can't keep this to myself. I have to share this with you guys. We're gonna go on a little journey together through the bizarre, the unbelievable, and the downright hilarious. I've compiled a list of facts that are so wild you'll be questioning everything. Seriously, some of these sound like they were made up by a kid with a crazy imagination, but I promise, they are 100% legit. Get ready to have your mind blown because this is gonna be a good one. Grab a snack, get comfortable because you're not gonna wanna miss a single one of these. We're talking about everything from space to ancient history to animal biology that just doesn't seem possible. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. Here are 10 mind-blowing facts you won't believe are actually true. Alright, first up, let's talk about something we all know and love: fruit. You go to the grocery store, you see a banana, you see a strawberry. Simple, right? Wrong. Get this. Botanically speaking, bananas are berries, but strawberries are not. I know, it feels wrong. It's like finding out that the rock is actually a kitten. It just doesn't compute. But it's true. A berry, in the scientific sense, is a fruit that grows from a single ovary of a flower. And bananas fit that description perfectly. So what about strawberries? The name has berry right in it. It's a total imposter. Strawberries, along with raspberries and blackberries, are actually what they call aggregate fruits. This means they develop from a flower that has more than one ovary. So all those little seeds on the outside of a strawberry, each one is technically its own separate fruit. Mind blown. Next time you make a smoothie, you can tell everyone you're blending up some berries and some aggregate accessory fruits. You'll be the life of the party, I promise. Or you'll just get weird looks. Either way, it's a win. Okay, picture a flamingo. You're thinking of that big, beautiful pink bird, right? Standing on one leg, looking all majestic. They're iconic. You see them at the zoo, in nature documentaries, and on your neighbor's lawn. And here's the crazy part. There are more fake plastic lawn ornament flamingos in the world than there are actual living, breathing flamingos. Let that sink in for a second. We, as a species, have manufactured more plastic replicas of an animal than exist in nature. That is just wild. It's kind of hilarious and a little bit sad at the same time, isn't it? These birds are famous for their color, which they get from the algae and crustaceans they eat, and we've honored them by creating an army of plastic clones to stick in our grass. I can just imagine a real flamingo flying over a suburb in Florida and getting really confused. It'd be like, "Hey Steve, look, we're popular." Or, "Is this some kind of silent pink army? I'm not sure if I should be flattered or terrified." It's one of the weirdest tributes to an animal I've ever heard of. This next one is for all you foodies out there. Imagine a food that literally never goes bad. Not for a week, not for a year, but for thousands of years. It exists, and it's honey. That's right, honey is essentially eternal. Archaeologists digging in ancient Egyptian tombs have found pots of honey that are over 3,000 years old, and guess what? It's still perfectly edible. They could have scooped it out and put it on their toast right then and there. That is absolutely insane to me. My leftovers don't even last 3 days in the fridge. What makes it last so long? It's like a magical potion. Honey has a super low water content, and it's very acidic, which means bacteria and other little microorganisms that spoil food can't survive in it. They just check in and check right back out. It's naturally preserved. So if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, forget the canned beans, I'm raiding the honey aisle. It's the ultimate survival food, created by bees and apparently blessed by the gods of preservation. The ancient Egyptians knew what was up. We all know octopuses are cool. I mean, they have 8 arms, they can change color, they can squeeze through tiny spaces. They're basically real-life aliens living in our oceans. But, it gets even weirder. An octopus doesn't have 1 heart, it doesn't have 2 hearts, it has 3 hearts. 3! I can barely handle the one I've got, especially after watching a scary movie. Why on earth would an animal need 3 hearts? It sounds like biological overkill, like having 3 steering wheels in your car. Well, there's a reason for it, and it's pretty fascinating. 2 of the hearts are dedicated to pumping blood through the gills, which are the octopus's breathing organs. The third, larger heart, is responsible for circulating blood to the rest of the body. Here's a fun little bonus fact. That main heart actually stops beating when the octopus swims. That's why they prefer to crawl along the ocean floor. Swimming is just too exhausting for them. Imagine your heart just taking a break every time you went for a jog. It's just another reason why octopuses are one of the most bizarre and amazing creatures out there. Let's take a trip into space for this next one. So, we think of a day as one rotation of a planet and a year as one trip around the sun. Simple, right? Here on Earth, that's 24 hours and 365 days. But on Venus, things are weird. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. Read that again. It takes longer for Venus to spin around once on its axis than it does for it to complete a full orbit around the sun. How is that even possible? It messes with my whole concept of time. Let's break it down. Venus takes about 243 Earth days to complete one single rotation. That's one Venusian day. But it only takes about 225 Earth days to go all the way around the sun. That's a Venusian year. So on Venus you would celebrate your New Year's party before you even finished a single day. You could literally be born, have a birthday, and still be in the same day. It's the ultimate long weekend. Also, Venus spins backward compared to most other planets. It's just the rebel of the solar system, doing its own thing at its own incredibly slow pace. Okay, let's get a little juvenile for a second. We have to talk about poop, specifically, wombat poop. Wombats are these adorable, chunky little marsupials from Australia. They look like tiny, cuddly bears. But they have a very, very strange secret. Their poop is cube-shaped. Yes, you heard me right. Little brown cubes. It's not round, it's not a log, it's a block, like little biological dice. When I first heard this, I thought it had to be a joke. How does that even work, anatomically? Scientists were puzzled by this for a long time too, but they figured it out. It turns out that the wombat's intestines have sections that are stretchier than others. As the digestive matter moves through, these varying pressures and contractions basically squeeze and form it into perfect little cubes. And why? Wombats use their poop to mark their territory, and since they often leave it on top of logs or rocks, the flat sides of the cubes keep it from rolling away. It's brilliant. It's nature's version of non-slip building blocks. It is, without a doubt, the weirdest and most practical poop in the entire animal kingdom. The Eiffel Tower, it's one of the most famous landmarks in the world. A massive structure of iron standing tall in the heart of Paris. You'd think something that big and that solid would be pretty consistent, right? Well, think again. The Eiffel Tower can actually grow and shrink depending on the weather. In the summer, it can be up to 15 centimeters, or about 6 inches, taller than it is in the winter. It's like it hits a little growth spurt every year. This isn't magic, it's science. It's a phenomenon called thermal expansion. When things get hot, the particles they're made of get more energy and start to move around more, causing the object to expand. Since the Eiffel Tower is made of iron, when the Parisian sun beats down on it in the summer, the metal expands and the whole tower gets taller. Then, in the cold winter, the metal contracts and the tower shrinks back down. So if you visit in August, you're technically seeing a slightly taller tower than someone who visited in January. It's a living, breathing, well, not really monument. Okay, I want you to try something. Picture every beach on Earth, every desert, every sandbox, and every playground. Now imagine you could count every single grain of sand on the entire planet. That number would be astronomically huge, right? Almost impossible to comprehend. Well, here's a fact that will make your brain feel very, very small, in like, the best way possible. There are more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on all of Earth's beaches and deserts combined. It's just, wow. Every time you look up at the night sky, you're only seeing a tiny fraction of what's out there. Scientists estimate there are somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars just in our own Milky Way galaxy. And there are billions, maybe even trillions of other galaxies out there. The sheer scale is something we can't truly wrap our heads around. For every single grain of sand you could hold in your hand, there are thousands, maybe millions, of giant burning suns out there in the cosmos. It really puts our own little world into perspective. This next fact is a little bit quirky, a little bit weird, and honestly, a testament to one man's passion. We all know what a frisbee is, that plastic disc we've all thrown around at a park or a beach. The inventor of the modern frisbee was a man named Walter Morrison. He sold the rights to the Wham-O toy company, and the rest is history. But the story doesn't end there. Walter Morrison loved his creation so much that he made a very unique final request. When he died in 2010 at the age of 90, his family honored his wishes. They had his ashes cremated and mixed into a batch of plastic. That plastic was then used to create a number of frisbees, which were distributed to family and friends. That's right, the inventor of the frisbee was turned into a frisbee. He literally became his own legacy. I don't know if that's creepy or awesome, but it's definitely unforgettable. Talk about put your heart and soul into your work to a whole new level. He's probably still flying high somewhere. For our final fact, let's talk about national animals. The United States has the bald eagle, a symbol of freedom and strength. Australia has the kangaroo. Canada has the beaver. These all make sense, they're real animals that represent the country. And then there's Scotland. What majestic, powerful, real-life creature did Scotland choose to represent its national pride? The unicorn. I'm not kidding. The official national animal of Scotland is a mythical horned horse. This isn't a new thing either. The unicorn was first adopted as Scotland's national animal back in the 15th century. In Celtic mythology, unicorns represented purity, innocence, and power. They were seen as wild and untamable, a perfect symbol for a country that fiercely valued its independence. They even appear on the royal coat of arms, chained because legend said only a king could tame a unicorn. So while other countries chose real animals, Scotland looked at a horse with a horn on its head and said, "Yep, that's us. You have to respect that level of commitment to whimsy." And there you have it. 10 facts that prove our world is a much stranger and more fascinating place than we give it credit for. From cube-shaped poop to honey that outlasts civilizations, and a day that's longer than a year. I mean, come on. Who knew that our fruit salads were a lie, or that the Eiffel Tower is a summer grower? It just goes to show you that there's always something new to learn, something that can completely change your perspective on things you thought were simple. I feel like my brain just ran a marathon. I hope you guys had as much fun with this as I did. It's amazing to think about the sheer weirdness of the universe, from the biology of an octopus with 3 hearts, to the cosmic scale of stars outnumbering grains of sand. And let's be honest, we all secretly wish our national animal was a unicorn now, right? Learning this stuff makes me feel like a kid again, just full of wonder and curiosity about how everything works. It's a reminder to never stop asking questions and to always be ready to be surprised. So which one of these facts completely shattered your reality? Was it the wombat cubes? The eternal honey? The frisbee inventor? I honestly don't think I can pick just one. They're all so good. Let me know your favorite down below. I can't wait to read what you guys think. And if you know any other crazy facts, share those too. Let's blow each other's minds in the comments section. Which fact blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable facts.